Retreat! Retreat!
Hey everyone, what's happening? Lex back today for another sneak peek video here in Brawl Stars. Now, there are more sneak peeks coming, but for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new brawler in Brawl Stars, Colonel Ruff. Now, let me just get this out of the way right now. Colonel Ruffs, he good. He real good, and I'm going to show you how he can do things that no other brawler in Brawl Stars can do. The utility and the tools that he brings to a team are simply amazing. Plain and simple, if you were going to create the perfect support brawler, it'd be Colonel Ruffs. So we're going to take a look at him and I'll show you what he can do, and then we're going to pit him 1v1 versus every brawler in Brawl Stars. Now, Colonel Ruff is a chromatic brawler, so he will be on the paid Brawl Pass at tier 30. So if you want to guarantee getting him, you're going to need to purchase the Brawl Pass, and if you're going to be spending any gems in Brawl Stars, me and my family would be ever grateful to you if you were to use code LEX. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps support me, my family, and this channel. Enter it into the shop or click on the link in the pinned comment or description, and while you're there, be sure to go check out my brand new streaming channel where I live stream Brawl Stars and post videos of the highlights of those streams for you guys to enjoy. Go check it out. Colonel Ruffs has 4,200 hit points at max level. His main attack is 2 laser beams that deal 700 damage each. Now, these laser beams can also bounce off of walls similar to Rico, but they will bounce independently from each other, so you can get them going different directions, because it made sense. Now, that in itself is pretty cool, but even way more cool are his gadget and his super. Ruff's gadget, called Take Cover, gives him the ability to drop 3 sandbags that protect him from enemy fire. Each sandbag has 2,000 hit points and will block most shots. There are some limitations to these sandbags. First off, when an enemy is using auto aim near the sandbags, the game will prioritize shooting you and not the sandbag, so people can still auto aim on you through the gaps. So you'll have to be careful and position yourself to where a sandbag is between you and your enemy. However, even that won't work if the enemy has a shot that can pierce. Think of the sandbags like another player, not so much like a wall. Brawlers like Nita, Tara, Poco, Frank, all of those brawlers, they can hit through these sandbags. I mean, still, they're incredibly useful for keeping you safe, but they're not impenetrable or everlasting. However, one thing that is everlasting is Colonel Ruff's super effect. And this is where it gets kind of bonkers. When Ruffs uses his super, he calls down a supply drop that leaves a power-up. Picking up this power-up gives you an extra 20% damage for the duration of the effect. The crazy thing here is that this effect is permanent, or until you die. Even more crazy is that it only takes 7 laser beams, so 3.5 shots, to fully charge his super. You can actually cycle supers pretty fast, and it does a lot of damage. Without his star power air superiority, his super deals 1,400 damage. With it, it will deal 2,400 damage and break walls. You pick up the power up and use your super again, and now you're at 2,680 damage per super, as well as leaving a power up for your other teammates to use indefinitely or until they die. Yeah, Colonel Ruffs has an insane amount of utility. Protection via his gadget, extra power for your whole team, breaking walls, but wait! There's more. As you're going to find out as we head into these 1v1s, that Colonel Ruffs can unload all 3 shots so incredibly fast that they can all be in the air at the same time. That's 4,200 damage in a blink of an eye. So with all that said, and now that you know a little bit about Colonel Ruffs, let's hop into the 1v1 interactions and see how he does, keeping in mind that this is just a support brawler. All right, so he won 3 and he lost 2. Honestly, it's not that bad at all. Remember, this is what Brawl Stars is classifying as a support brawler, and he almost took down BB. And did you notice against Piper? Like I said, all 3 shots in the air at the same time headed her way. And it's because of this insane burst that he was able to finish her off, even though she clearly has more firepower. To highlight this, let's see Ruffs against some throwers. Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Don't call me doggo. Retreat!
In a blink of an eye, those throwers were erased. That's pretty rough. Rough. I mean, come on. I couldn't help myself. What? You didn't think there was going to be any dog puns in this video? Yeah, think again. There is a downside to this quick damage. After the initial burst, the sustained damage is pretty lackluster, which you could tell in the fight versus Poco and Pam. Lots of damage up front, and then he's pretty much just left defenseless with his low hit points. But that's where his gadget could come in handy. Now Pam, yeah, she crushed him. But out of the 43 brawlers, 20 of them were decided by less than 1,000 hit points. Check out these close matches. Not too bad for a support brawler. So Colonel Ruffs was fortunate that he didn't lose to Carl. Now let's take a trip down Mythic Row and see if Ruffs can raise a ruckus. So he won 3 and he lost 4. And those 4 he lost, they were actually pretty close, but let's not get carried away. If you're looking to Ruffs for like a ton of damage, then you're barking up the wrong tree. These next brawlers, however, are ones that you're really going to have to watch out for when you're playing. Okay, yeah, he lost, but come on. Did you really expect him to win toe-to-toe against those brawlers? Not really. If you see one of those brawlers, however, and like half of their health is taken, you can pop out and boom, burst them down really quick and come out on top. But there are plenty of other brawlers that he can just completely smack down on. And after these fight, those other brawlers, yeah, they're going to be whimpering. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, if you're one of those brawlers, you might want to pause before you go after the Colonel. Okay, all right, enough puns. All right, I got you. No more puns. Maybe. So there's just a few more brawlers, and we are at the top of the list. And of course, they're going to be all tanks, but let's see these matchups starting at number 5 and ending with the number 1 brawler against Colonel Ruffs. So there you have it. Colonel Ruffs 1v1 versus every brawler in the game. Honestly, he performed pretty darn well for a support brawler, and I'm going to tell you my opinion on him right after we listen to his voice lines.
Calling in reinforcements. Delta team, requesting backup. When the going gets rough, rough gets tough. Bird is the word. Clear the drop zone. Romeo uniform, foxtrot, foxtrot. It's an ambush! Ah! The enemy is strong. Retreat! Retreat! Bad dog! Get to the hopper! Requesting evac! Incoming! Medic! Don't ruffle my fur! Enemy contact! Ruff! 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 Preparing for counterattack! Enemy down! Don't call me doggo! Bravo Zulu! Sit down! Roll over! Now play dead. Mission successful. Who's a good boy? Every dog has its day. My bite is way worse than my bark. Let's go, go, go! Watch the flanks! Battle stations!
So if you haven't guessed it by now, I'm a big fan of Colonel Ruffs. Now, I don't think that he's going to be like insanely OP, and honestly, it's going to take a bit more skill to play him, but what he offers to a team in terms of utility, burst fire, and power is really tremendous, honestly. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me